believe personally there's a pathway back for you and Canelo to get back to the place that you were in just a couple of years ago when, Canelo chose to stay with Golden Boy long term? Is there a pathway back to that?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And it's like I said, I mean, family is always going to be family. And, when you're always doing the right thing, there's nothing that can go wrong. So, I'm really looking forward to it. I really respect and admire Canelo for what he's done. And I'm really looking forward to many more years to come working with him and his team.
How certain are you that Canelo will fight on that September 12th date?
I'll know by the end of this week, but I'm very certain that he will. Because DAZN wants it, I want it, and Canelo wants it. I think that it's a matter of just nailing down that one opponent who wants to take the chance, who wants to take the risk, who is going to get paid handsomely, obviously, but who is not going to be these fighters who think they deserve world championship money just because they fight Canelo. Have to earn it. And so if once we nail down an opponent like that, then we have a fight.
Who's at the top of the list?
I do not want to mention any names, but every time I do, they add a zero to the negotiation. So I'm going to keep quiet for this one, Chris. But I can assure you, we will have somebody in the next couple of weeks.
I want to ask you quickly. You mentioned families have squabbles, and right now, you and Ryan Garcia, it's gone public over the last month or so. What's happening there? Like, how did it get to this point where you and Ryan are not only disagreeing, but you're disagreeing publicly right now?
Well, I mean, I guess he's disagreeing publicly. It's a shame because we only want the best for him as a friend, as a promoter. And like I said, when you have advisors who are whispering in your ear, it's unfortunate that a lot of these fighters listen to these advisors, to wrong information. We strongly feel that we can make Ryan Garcia a global superstar inside the ring. Yes, he does have the following. Yes, he does have all these Instagram followers. But I want to make him a superstar inside the ring. I want to make him a world champion many times over. We still can do it. I will do it. He's our fighter under Golden Boy. We have many more years to work with each other. And there's nothing better than to, see him blossom as a fighter and as a person. Because look, as a promoter for us, it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work day in and day out. And sometimes it's unfortunate that you have to sometimes babysit these fighters as well. But look, one thing about Ryan is that he's a very mature fighter. He's a fighter who knows what he wants. And like I said, this is family, and in family you have squabbles, but we'll get over it.
And look, I said this to Ryan. I think that Ryan's probably been devastated by the pandemic as much as anyone, because if, this pandemic doesn't hit, I'm sure you guys go into a Linares fight, that's it, Staples Center or some other kind of venue like that where everybody makes some money, and we're not talking about money right now. It seems to me that he's been significantly adversely affected by this pandemic.
Absolutely. And just like everyone else, look, we had huge plans for him. July 4th, I want to stage a major event on July 4th, on the birth of our nation. How big would that be with Ryan Garcia fighting on July 4th? It would be special. And so, look, everybody's been affected. It's been very difficult. And, there's fighters who understand and there's fighters who don't. And I just feel that we'll get through this. It's a matter of time, and we'll move forward.
One of the things Ryan did say, Oscar, in that interview with The Athletic was that he's been trying to reach out to you personally and he can't get a hold of you. Is that accurate?
He has my number. I mean, he knows where to get a hold of me. Look, I try to get a hold of him as well. And again, it's unfortunate that he has advisors who are giving him wrong information.
you guys need some help, we can just bring him on the podcast. Like, it'll be like one of those game shows where you can like roll him in. Like, here's Ryan Garcia. Let's have a conversation. He did say, if you don't believe in him as a world champion, you should just release him outright. How would you respond to that?
Well, I mean, our job is to make him a world champion, and that's what I'm going to continue doing. We have him on the right path. He's a very talented fighter. We believe in him. And obviously, we have a long-term contract together, a pact together, and I'm never going to stop believing in him. I want him to supersede whatever I did as well. Inside the ring. I want him to become world champion many times over. It brings me great joy to see these fighters, make their dreams come true and have those titles around their waist. There's nothing better for me than that. That's exactly why I'm promoting, is to make sure that these fighters become world champions and live their dreams. So, I feel that Ryan Garcia can be one of the best fighters in the history of the sport.
He does have that you factor, for lack of a better phrase. I mean, you came out. He doesn't have the background with the Olympic gold medal, but right. You came out of the Olympics. You had the skill, you had the appearance, you were obviously well spoken. Ryan is all of those things as well. So I mean, I think he, as much as anyone in boxing, not just in his weight class or in his age bracket, but anyone in boxing, the potential to cross over into those mainstream households, to do talk shows like you did back in your day. We don't see that anymore. I mean, the last boxer to consistently do talk shows like Manny Pacquiao and those, kind of weird Jimmy Kimmel hits that he would do at times. Like, Ryan Garcia could be a different level of that type.
Exactly. And we have the potential to create a mega star in Ryan Garcia, and that's exactly what our plans are. We know how to do it because we've done it before, not only with myself but with fighters that we've promoted in the past. And so Ryan Garcia is the perfect candidate to not only become a champion, but to become a superstar outside of the ring. And that's not very easy, but we have the formula to do it.
Do you believe, we've seen the last couple of days, Ryan Garcia, Luke Campbell, their names being linked through the WBC. What do you think of that fight? And do you believe that will be Ryan Garcia's next fight?
Well, I mean, the WBC has ordered it. And we're obviously now waiting for Eddie Hearn to make us the offer because he does promote Luke Campbell. And that's the fight that has to happen. It's the WBC orders. That's exactly what has to take place. And so it's a great fight. It's a difficult fight for both guys. It's a real fight. I think it'll be the first real test where fight fans and the public will finally respect Ryan Garcia by beating Campbell. So this is a fight that if it does take place, will be a very, very entertaining, pick'em fight.
Before I let you go, Virgil Ortiz is the first one back.
Oscar De La Hoya, that was his thoughts on Ryan Garcia. What up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego, and I'm back with some more boxing. I'm not going to get into my whole intro. I started off a little bit different. That was De La Hoya. That's my reaction. Quick thoughts, couple quick thoughts. Smash the like button. De La Hoya seemed all over the place. If you actually watch it, link will be in the description. He seemed like a little bit like he just woke up or something, like he was stuttering. He kept wiping his face, and some of the questions that he was answering, or some of his answers, I guess is a better way to put it. Some of his answers just seem a little bit loopy. For example, they're talking about Ryan Garcia versus Luke Campbell, and is it going to happen next? What's your thoughts? And he says he sounded like kind of caught off guard by the question. And this is a DAZN interview, so this is like the platform you brought your fighters to. So it's not like, interviewing with me or New Media, just somebody else. But anyway, he's doing a DAZN interview. Link in the description. And he just seemed kind of caught off guard by the question. And he starts answering it, and he's kind of stuttery. Then he says, the WBC, oh yeah, the WBC ordered it, so it has to happen. And then if you listen, like I'm very like keen to what people are saying. He said it has to happen. The WBC order it. This will be a difficult fight because Luke Campbell is a step up. It'll show that Ryan, he's capable of beating that caliber, yada, yada, yada. So it's a difficult fight for both, and that'll give Ryan Garcia respect. And he says it has to happen because the WBC ordered it. But the WBC has ordered a lot of fights that haven't happened. WBC told Triple G to fight Charlo, and it didn't happen. WBC had Charlo as a mandatory for De La Hoya's fighter, Canelo. It didn't happen. Or we could switch gears, and the WBC ordered Dillian White to fight Luis Ortiz, and it hasn't happened. So, just because the WBC or any sanctioning body for that matter orders something doesn't mean it's going to happen. But he says it has to happen because the WBC, just listen, watch this video back or go to the original video. He says it has to happen because the WBC ordered it. It's a difficult fight. Then he says, if that fight does happen, it'll be a good one. So you just said it has to happen, but then you contradict yourself by saying, if it does happen, if indeed it does happen. So if that fight doesn't happen, it's going to be a bad look for Golden Boy and Ryan Garcia. Showtime's announcing in a matter of hours all of their fights. And it's just weird to see Golden Boy and their two biggest stars. Oscar's being interviewed about discord and having two stars disenchanted. You heard the beginning, he was talking about Canelo and they're not really seeing eye to eye, but families get in little quarrels and squabbles. And then it graduated to the Ryan Garcia questions. So it's not a good look. Not a good look in my opinion, just being honest. That Ryan Garcia and Canelo, they're teammates, stablemates. They both seem to be begrudged against Golden Boy. Oscar, I don't know if he just woke up or something, but he looked like real groggy in this interview. Like just how he's going about answering the questions, not really direct. He just said a couple things that are questionable, but watch it again. Like for example, he said Canelo Alvarez, he hedged his bet in a lot of this interview. You see what I'm saying? So it's just like he's losing his touch with PRing it. The question was about Canelo fighting on the quote unquote Mexican day, September 12th. And he says he doesn't know if it'll happen. He says something I'm just going to paraphrase. He says he doesn't know if Canelo's going to fight on September 12th, but he'll know in a week. And then at the end of his statement, he says, so it will happen. Canelo wants to fight. We want to fight, so it will happen. But you just said you'll know at the end of the week. So to me, it sounded like Oscar was BSing it. How do you say that when you're asked the question at first, will Canelo fight on that preserved date that he wants, September 12th? You started off by saying, I'll know something by the end of this week because we're still fielding out the options, talking to DAZN and Team Canelo, etc. But then you said it will happen. And that's what he did with Ryan Garcia. He said Ryan Garcia, Luke Campbell, yada, yada, yada. He says WBC ordered it. It has to happen next. And then he says if the fight happens, it will be a good fight. So it doesn't look like everybody's on the same page. And like I said, it's just a bit weird to see the promoter talking about fighting the fighter Canelo. There's a recent interview where De La Hoya said that, talk about a sour relationship with two of his prime fighters. And I think Oscar was BSing it a bit when he was saying that Ryan Garcia is this and the future, because he keeps calling Virgil Ortiz the future of boxing. And it's like he's doing that to spite Ryan Garcia, we know. And he also said that Ryan Garcia is beefing on Twitter and made it sound like he's removed from that situation, absolved from any guilt. But we see him constantly pitting Virgil Ortiz and trying to throw that in Ryan Garcia's face, saying, oh, this guy is the best prospect. Now he's saying he believes in him as a champion when Ryan's saying he wants to be released. But Oscar in the past said, he's not even my best prospect. Who does that? What promoter, pits their fighters against each other? What promoter does what he did and says he never backs down from a challenge? So, makes him sound like he would fight Canelo. Can you picture Al Heyman, an advisor? He's not a promoter, but an advisor, making it sound like he'll fight Errol Spence, or Mayweather making it sound like he wants to fight Gervonta Tank Davis. I mean, it's just weird behavior from Golden Boy right now, and Oscar as the spokesperson. It doesn't sound like they have a firm grip on Canelo for that September 12th date, or confidence that the Luke Campbell fight absolutely will happen. Like I said, if you listen to it in detail, he said the WBC ordered it has to happen, but then towards the end of it, he made it sound like it's not a guarantee. You know, as far as Ryan Garcia being a superstar, I think Ryan Garcia has channeled in a network where he's realizing he doesn't really need. Look, he's doing a Bud Light commercial. You know, he's doing a Bud Light commercial. So I think he's getting to a point where he's realizing he can get shine just off of social media and being an influencer and, you know, things like that. So it'll see where I can't wait to see what's next and what actually transpires from this. But it's kind of a weird interview to see the promoter have to talk about having beef with the fighters and, you know, family squabbles and things like that. Let me know what you guys think. What's next from Ryan Garcia and Canelo? Do you think Canelo will fight September 12th? But it'll be a bad look if they don't get the fight by September, if Canelo doesn't fight September 12th, or if Ryan Garcia doesn't fight Luke Campbell. Let me know what you guys think. Drop your thoughts in the comment section. We working.
So if you enjoyed this video and want more content like this on the channel, you can show your appreciation by going to the PayPal donate button or the YouTube support button, and you can donate any amount that you feel is equivalent to the value of this video. Much more to come. Thank you guys for your support. Boxingego, the future of boxing.